So the human being as a whole, we are holistic creatures, and our spiritual well-being is related to our physical well-being. People forget that we have an innate capacity to experience the infinite. And by the infinite, I don't mean some mental abstraction. I mean something expansive and regenerative. That we have a right to this experience. It's even an ecstatic experience. We have a right to it. Not only that, we have a need for it. And the cheap substitutes we seek will never quite do it. But for our own health and well-being, we need some experience of the divine. Be aware of your breath. That's always good. That's a good place to begin. Add to that an experience, a sensation of your body as you're aware of your breath. Now check in with your heart. What is the state of your heart at this moment? And try and sustain this comprehensive state of awareness in your everyday life. The other thing that helps enormously is to be around people who have developed this presence. And the other thing I said, the reason I said it's the first step, even though it's infinite, it's not like you do it and that's it. Presence can be deepened infinitely. But in that process of deepening, you begin to realize that it's not just my presence. I'm not just developing this self-awareness that is limited to me, but it begins to have, it begins to reach into the universe. It begins to open into an ocean of presence, an ocean of grace, an ocean of beauty and love. That presence and all of our most important human qualities are, to use religious language, sourced in God. If you don't like that language, you can easily substitute something else. But sourced in infinite being, sourced in an invisible dimension of reality that, while invisible, is nevertheless, even in a sense, more real, more important, more precious than this three-dimensional or four-dimensional time-space continuum. This time-space continuum is just the theater in which the attributes of the divine, the attributes of spirit, manifest. And we're here to understand and experience this theater qualitatively, so that we begin to sense that there is a source to all of this, and that source is longing to be known, is longing to be in relationship to you, and that your greatest satisfaction as a human being will come when you enter into that relationship. This is what we mean by worship. But by worship, we don't mean a ritual or ceremony. And this is what we mean by prayer. But by prayer, we don't mean asking for something. We mean a relationship, a conscious relationship with something intensely spiritual, intensely real, loving, generous, beautiful. And when we have that experience, as it grows in us, as it becomes, you might say, our baseline, everything in life changes. We have fears, we have disappointments, we have sorrow, we have pain, we have all these things, but they're in a way transformed because we know we're living in love's universe, and we know that how we relate to the challenges of life and even the pain of life, how we relate to all this is enriching and developing our souls. And that maybe this life, this existence, is a place for the development and the education of souls. Maybe the nature of reality is to cultivate souls. Souls being conscious entities that can fall in love with God, because what we mean by God is something very beautiful. And that's coming back to the Rumi poem, nothing happens without you. This changes the nature of all of our experiences. It puts us into it gives us a kind of intimacy with the purpose behind existence. We now feel that nothing is a waste, nothing is random, nothing is purely accidental. Everything is part of our own, if I may say so, individually designed curriculum of the heart. Because there's nothing, the heart is the most precious thing in the universe. Everything wants to get into your heart. Everything wants a place in your heart. Presidential candidates want a place in your heart. Coca-Cola wants a place in your heart, etc., etc. Well, what are you going to make central to your heart? So Rumi says in another poem, a man dies and he comes before God and he's carrying bags of gold. And God says, what's all this garbage here? What are you bringing me this for? Bring me the heart. If your heart is pleased with you, then I am pleased with you. And they asked the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, they said, what is sin? He said simply, sin is what troubles your heart. Leave it behind. So the heart is central. Paying attention to the heart is our guide. And yes, there are disciplines. It requires commitment. It requires the practice of attention and meditation in one form or another. For Sufis, meditation is maybe half an hour in the morning and otherwise 24/7. It's every breath is our meditation. We take a little time, not a lot of time, we take a little time, a half hour a day, or maybe an hour a day, including our ritual prayer, which is an embodied form of worship, to actualize this state of heartfulness, of awareness. But the rest of our day is just living, serving, being creative, being beneficial to humanity, but always with an awareness of this greater context, and always referring to the heart as, what's needed now? What's next? What do I need to pay attention to? Consult with your heart. Bring your mind into your heart. Your heart truly is your mind. The mind separated from the heart is a pretty useless instrument. It can mislead us. But the mind brought into the heart, the thinking mind serving the heart, allows us to be practical. So it all comes back to this incredible faculty that we call the heart, which is an array of, you could say, subtle subconscious faculties. What if you had a sense, just as you have a sense for sight, or a sense of smell, or a sense of taste, what if you also had a sense for unity? A sense in your own being that could encompass the unity of existence, that could make you feel at one with the trees, with the garden, with other human beings, with the atmosphere, with the oceans. Well, you do have that sense, whether you're aware of it or not, explicitly, and it can be developed. It can become your primary organ of perception.